On behalf of Nefesh Chicago, the Decalogue Society of Lawyers, the Jewish Board of Advocates for Children, our other sponsoring organizations, and the people who are our generous funders, I'd like to welcome you to this afternoon's program. My name is Doron Katzin. I'm a member of the Executive Committee of the Jewish Board of Advocates for Children, and Dr. Vivian Skolnick and I, for the second year in a row, are put together this program with the help of a lot of other people. And besides our sponsors and funders, I want to acknowledge Deja Views, who for the second year in a row is assisting us and with this program. And now I will turn things over to the chair of the program, Vivian Skolnick.
I, too, would like to welcome you to the second National Jewish Week for the Prevention of Child Abuse. It has been absolutely heartwarming to see the response of people working on this program and have had the joy of people saying, what can I do? That this program has engendered such interest that we find such a large part of the community is really interested in how we can help our children. I guess I have to give a chorus atov to Penn State because of all the publicity they provided on having people come to our program. Besides thanking our committee, and I know I will leave out names if I thank each one individually, I want to thank all of the generous sponsors and everyone else who helped in whatever way they could to make this afternoon happen. You've been very gracious in your volunteering, and I want to give a special thanks to Mr. Doron Katzin, who has given his time, his devotion, and his talent to making today happen. A very smart woman once said to me that she believes in the power of one. And I think that is a very important message that we want to get across to you today. Because the power of one is something that will make things happen and has made things happen in our community. I would like to tell you just in general, in looking at our panel today, that every one of the panel has been a power of one, a person who has been, people who have been pioneers in this area, people who have made a tremendous impact in this area. And I'll just tell you a little bit about that. I'd like to start with our very special and dear Rabbi Schwartz. 15 years ago, when we had our first program on child abuse, Rabbi Schwartz was the one and the first to stand up and say, I want to work with you to get this done. He stood up and said, we have to do something and have people go to the police. So he was the first to begin to show us a way of action in this particular area. The next person on the panel, Rachel Zimmerman, has been a first as well. Project SHIELD, which was started by Debbie Hartman, was looking for a home and it found its way into the Jewish Federation after she had done much work in getting it started. But a home is not a home unless you have people to take care of it. And so first we had Cheryl Leon, who was the person who helped to function and provide Project SHIELD with the education and whatever counseling they needed. And now we're very lucky to have Rachel Zimmerman, who is going to be able to tell you about what Project SHIELD is doing in our community to help protect our children in the way of education and other services. And so that has been another first. Barbara Blaine is a #1 pioneer. She is a lawyer who is, I think, world-renowned, largely because her founding of SNAP, the Survivors of Sexual Abuse from Priests. She has been the one who has set the world on fire in terms of providing a moral and legal basis for protecting our children. And she was the power of one who made all of this happen, and to this very day is still making it happen. Judy Brown was just listed as one of the 50 young people in the Jewish community at large who has helped to change the world. And she was given this accolade in the field of literature, but the issue is that this groundbreaking work, which brings to the public their responsibility and to acknowledge and to do something about the injustice that happens, and how we have to be able to look at ourselves to be able to change. When we talk about power of one, I want you to know that we do have people who each one is a power of one, who volunteers in your community, in your shul, to be there anonymously to help protect your children. This has been going on, I think, about 8 to 10 years. We do need some volunteers because people move, and so if there's anyone in the audience who would like to help, and we will be glad to tell you how to do it, it's very simple, please see me after the program, and we will be glad to have you in to be one of our shomrim. The most important thing, I think, for me, is to tell the audience that when we talk about the power of one, I think we too often give up our own personal power and responsibility, both as parents, as teachers, etc., and rely on other people to resolve our issues. And I would like to invite you all to regain your own personal responsibility and power, that when an issue comes up in the neighborhood, to not say, well, someone else has to do it, and of course if it doesn't work out, then you have someone else to blame, but to really say, I will take care of this. I am the one who can go and do something about this and make the right thing happen. You can do it. And I think it's a very important issue. One of the things that I ask my people when I see people in therapy is when you have an event that you are concerned about or an issue, I have what I call Skolnick's 20-year rule. How will this event or action affect you or the other in 20 years? And how will it affect you and the other if you didn't take that action in 20 years? How many of you will feel very proud in 20 years to know that you have had a special part in protecting your children and your grandchildren, and that they will say to you, thank you for helping keep my community safe? Or will they come to you in 20 years and say, why didn't you do something? So I think when we talk about the power of one, that it's very important to realize that what goes on is in your hands as well as other people have responsibility too. I'm not suggesting they don't, but I do think that we need to take back the personal responsibility that we have kind of reluctantly given up to other experts because we think we don't have to do it anymore. At this point, I think I've said everything that has to be said except for one thing. And please remember this, because sometimes this can change your life. If you always do, what you always did, you will always get what you always got. And I think you need to remember that change and taking power is your right and it's your pleasure. And so with that, I'd like to turn the program over to Doron Katzin, who will introduce Rabbi Schwartz.